Hi, my name's Phil. I like talking about politics, and in this video I'd like to discuss a couple of clown car crashes, courtesy of Reform UK, from yesterday's proceedings in Parliament, on a day when all of the Reform MPs were in attendance, which is very unusual. They chose to make themselves look utterly ridiculous by being unable to read their own names out, or force a vote against Labour's child protection measures. And given that voting in Parliament is the bread and butter of an MP, you have to wonder why people have got confidence these muppets could run a country when they can't even manage the basics of a backbencher. But first, for daily political commentary, please hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out. So absolute scenes in the House of Commons yesterday when Reform UK tried to do anything. It was so useless. Even the Speaker lost it and described their bumbling as an absolute shambles. And there were two of them. The idea that these chumps could run a government is laughable. One of them has been an MP for 5 years. The rest of them have been in Parliament long enough to have seen others getting stuff done. And yet yesterday they showed that they know even less about parliamentary procedures than I do. I've never set foot in the place. And shall we remember how Nigel Farage kept messing up his own voting last year? Oh, Nigel Farage didn't vote. I did vote. Well, your name's not on the list. I messed it up. He kept complaining it's because he was new, a new MP. There were hundreds of new MPs. The rest of them were managing it just fine. But yesterday, Rupert Lowe was trying to introduce a 10-minute bill on behalf of his party. Now, this is a procedure whereby an MP gets 10 minutes to make an argument for a law, someone else gets 10 minutes to argue against it, and then if MPs support the bill, it can go through the normal process of legislative approval. Because remember, it's not governments that pass laws, it's parliaments. It's basically a way of letting an individual MP pass laws if they can get the majority of their parliamentary colleagues to agree with them. For example, a 10-minute bill proposing proportional representation just before Christmas actually won. Although I'm going to guess it won't get much further for now. So when you're presenting your 10-minute bill to the House, you have to read out the names of the MPs who are supporting it, who are presenting it, right, for the records. The names in this case were those of all 5 of Reform UK's MPs, along with Jim Allister, the TUV MP, who is aligned with them. So all Rupert Lowe needed to do was read out 6 names, one of which was his own, and the other 5 all close colleagues. Sounds simple, right? You would think so. Indeed, you would think this would be the sort of job you could give to a 7-year-old and they would manage it quite simply without even much notice. But not Lowe. Not Rupert, I've run a load of businesses so could easily run the country. Lowe. No. The guy who's getting a bit of an ego inflation because Elon Musk is talking supportively about him replacing Nigel Farage as Reform UK leader. It was so bad, you should probably suffer the spectacle yourself.
Who will prepare to bring in the bill?
Mr. Speaker, Richard Tice, Jim Allister, myself and others.
You've got to name them. You can't not name them.
It's McMurdoch.
And me.
And a one, right, OK.
Say Ed David. Put Ed David in. Put Rachel. Rachel from accounts.
Maybe Rachel Reeves, I don't know.
Can you just read now the names for clarity so that Hansard's got it?
Tice, Jim Allister, James McMurdoch, Lee Anderson, and myself.
All right. It's a shambles. Absolute shambles.
So he first of all decides that 6 names is too much effort to read out. So he tries to half-arse it. Oh, it's me, him, and a load of others. The Speaker points out that the names are needed for the record. So he has another go where he just reads out some of the other names. 2 of which, Ed Davey and Rachel Reeves, are absolutely not supporting the bill at all. So finding the process of reading out his own name and those of his friends too difficult, he just starts randomly making names up. This is... People want these guys to run the government. You wouldn't trust him to run a tuck shop. So when the Speaker tried yet again to impress upon him the need for proper records of the names, he had another stab. And on the 3rd occasion, it was his best effort. Fine, sure, he improved. But he still missed out Nigel Farage, the actual party leader, who, in a rare showing, had actually turned up to the chamber. At which point, the Speaker couldn't believe what was going on and called it an absolute shambles. Because new MPs, I mean, they're going to run foul of parliamentary procedures. Of course they do, new MP, right? It happens. But how difficult is it just to read out names? The Speaker even told him, you need to read out the names on that piece of paper in front of you, mate. He actually just told him that. And the clown show didn't end there. After making a hash of trying to present their own racist bill, which would have meant investigating just 2% of people involved in the organised sexual abuse of children and ignoring the other 98%. They then tried to sink Labour's Child Protection Bill, the Children's Wellbeing and Schools Bill, which, amongst other things, puts a legal duty on people to report suspicions of child abuse. Well, that sounds like a good idea. Even the Tories didn't try and derail that one. Well, they did attempt to with their amendment, but once that failed, they didn't fancy trying to block the whole bill itself, because that would have been a very bad look. So the procedure in Parliament, what happens is, piece of legislation is now ready for a vote. So the Speaker asks for ayes and noes. Now, if someone shouts up for both sides, division is called and a vote takes place. But if not, let's say no one opposes it, there's no point in wasting time having a vote. If like literally not a single MP can be asked to shout up, no, I don't like this bill, then you just don't, it just passes normally. Now, if you look at the record of voting for yesterday, you will see there was no vote for the bill itself, only the amendment. So that means no MPs tried to block the bill, right? This law designed to protect children from abuse, right? Wrong. For reasons best known to themselves, Reform UK did. So when the Speaker was calling for no's, they were no, 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 to which, of course, then there needs to be a vote. Quite why they wanted to block legislation which is designed to stop abused children falling through the cracks in the system is something you could maybe ask them if you get the opportunity. But stop it, they tried. They called out no, which means a vote. But as the only group opposing the bill, it was their job to put up two tellers for the vote. But in a second demonstration of stupid evil that day, they couldn't even do that. So the vote collapsed. The legislation passed the latest hurdle. It was going to anyway. And no vote is recorded because Reform UK were again too thick to read out just two names this time, not even six. Two names is all they had to come up with. And this won't, I'm not actually suggesting they're too stupid to read out their own names. It's not because they're too thick to do this. You know, there are some genuinely thick MPs, past and present, who manage this every day. It's because they can't be asked. Being an MP is just a jolly for them. Remember, Lee Anderson aside, they're all getting so much money from their own private business interests. The MP's salary is a joke to them. It's pocket money, pin money. In fact, it's so much of a joke to Rupert Lowe, he doesn't actually accept the money. They're not in Parliament to get anything done. They're in Parliament to stoke hatred, grift money, and have a laugh at the expense of their voters because they're all just basically bored, twisted millionaires. Can you imagine if the country accidentally voted these clowns into government? Nothing would get done, evil or otherwise. They'd be prattling about trying to introduce legislation via telepathy and wondering why nobody knew what they were talking about. The Speaker would be sat there, head in his hands, wondering what the bloody hell had happened to the country. And consider that if Reform UK did win an election, that would mean hundreds of Reform MPs in Parliament. Oh, blow me. These are supposed to be the cream, the bright hopes for the future, which the party allocated the plum seats to. Imagine what the shit would be like. But there we are. Those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below. If you've enjoyed the video, please click the like button and subscribe for further content. If you'd like to support the channel further, you can click the join button for memberships. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I'll see you later.